Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the one and only show? Live from Houston, Texas. It's the go-to girl, professional comedian, TV producer, and founder of MarriedDate.com. It's millionaire matchmaker, Amber.
Hey guys, welcome into an all new show of the Amber Neal Show. I'm your girl, matchmaker, comedian, publicist, Amber Neal. And I swear every time I do that intro, my title gets longer. But you know what they say, you got to have how many? 7 streams of income if you really want to make it on track to be a millionaire. And I claim it. I will be a millionaire this year. I'm claiming it, guys. Y'all welcome in my co-host. Y'all know who DJ Houston. He's on the ones and twos. He is doing big things, guys. He is the most in-demand DJ on the planet. So talented. The best out there. I highly endorse him to make you dance. Get on your feet. Throw your party up, right?
Right, absolutely, you guys. I mean, I specialize in everything, but what I really specialize in is just creating a vibe. Like,
yes.
I know how to connect with you through music. You know what I'm saying? So,
speaking of music, shout out to DJ Mr. Famous for tuning in on the Instagram. What's up, 04 Stargate? Hey, what's up, old family friend? All right, guys, without further ado, we got to welcome in my other co-host. Y'all seen him in the NFL. He's been part of the NFLPA. He is a philanthropist. He is doing the most in the community. He has a best-selling book, Believe So You Can Achieve. And he is the founder and CEO of the Ryan Yarbrough Foundation. Y'all give it up for Ryan. Hey, Yarbrough Country in the building. How's your weekend?
Peaceful as
ever. That's a good thing. You know, he's a Taurus. He's the bull. You don't want him to not be peaceful, okay? Shout out to Doughboy tuning in. Eric Boss. All right, guys. You know, I remember when I met Eric. He was so cool. I was kind of hoping we were going to work out as a couple because he has a cool last name. Can you imagine being Amber Boss? Like that. That's the only reason I wanted to marry him. Because otherwise he's kind of, you know what you did. But he had a really cool last name, right? All right, guys. Hey, Pat's Wings on Wheels. Thanks for tuning in. Also, today, guys, we're talking about unreasonable relationship expectations. And have you guys heard of the book, The 48 Laws of Power? Because today we are talking about 12 of the top laws of power. And woo! You know, one thing I can tell you, and Ryan, I know you can attest to this probably even more than we can, is the new levels, new devils is a real thing. But the other side of that is what you have to do to be willing to get to that level, but not sell out your soul or compromise your morals, values, and integrity. But the biggest thing, life lesson is we have to get to where we understand that people do what they want to do and people do what we let them. So that doesn't mean you have to become like people that you don't associate with or you don't F with. But at the same time, you do have to be cognizant that it's a shark tank. And if you come in as a little swimmer, little dolphin, you're going to get your ass ate up, okay? So today we're going to teach you how to be more shark-like without always showing the teeth. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, so number 1, we're going to jump into the unreasonable relationship expectations first, because don't y'all think that if you don't have expectations, you can't get let down? That's number 1.
I mean, fact. Yeah, that's my everyday thing.
Right.
You know, if I just don't have expectations, you can't let me down. I can't feel shameful of you or, you
right.
know, like upset with you because I didn't expect you to do it. So if I don't expect you to do it, you can't disappoint me. That was the word I was going for. Disappointment.
But you know, I always say that God knows we cuss because He gave us emotions. So what do you guys say to that, Ryan? What do you think? I mean, even though we say we're not going to have expectations, don't you think we still do kind of?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have self expectations first and foremost, but when it comes to expecting something from someone else, I mean, you really expect what the other person to give you back what you're giving to them. Put it that particular way.
That's 100%.
So when it comes down to that, those are the expectations that I would take from off of what this statement just said, for the simple fact that everybody's not going to give you back what you give them. So don't necessarily expect that.
And that's where we get disappointed because we expect others, we judge others how we see ourselves. And that's why we get hurt. That's why we get played. That's why bad things happen to good people, because we look at it like, I wouldn't do it, so how could somebody else do it? And that is why the second part of our show is going to be about the 12 laws of power. Because as I emerge into the next level for myself, it changes you. It really does, because at this point 99% of the people that I've ever fallen out with, I helped in some kind of way. And I'm sure that's true to you too, right, Jacob?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, I was just talking to one of my friends about it this morning, and she was asking me a question. She was like, oh, how's so-and-so doing? Do you still talk to and hang out? And I was like, honestly, I said no, because they stopped checking on me. I stopped checking on them. And like the importance kind of went away. Like I was like, I helped these people get where they're at, put them on, and introduce them to my world. And as soon as they got somewhere, I'm nobody.
They're like,
no
they
more.
don't need you anymore.
Exactly. So until they need me, and then that's when they text. Like, hey, how you doing? So a lot of people that fall off are people who were just using you,
Exactly.
to get where they were trying to go.
It's funny. I saw a text the other day, a meme. It said, "Stop texting for like a week or two, and then just pay attention, because you will really notice how many times you're the one making the effort."
It's so true. Like, social media is the same way. If you just stay off of social media, I deleted my Facebook almost a month ago.
How's license?
Has anybody even noticed? Nobody even noticed. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody pays attention. They only want to see when you fail. That's when they pay attention.
Ooh. But
That's
you
it.
know what? The truth is, and this is why I'm normally not a TV person, but if I am going to do a TV thing, I'm going to sit down and watch a series, right? So I was telling Ryan before we came on air, the 3 series I've watched recently have been Billions.
Giving them
Oh, I know,
plugs.
right? I ain't going to tell y'all. Forget that. But it's basically about 3... just the way it happened, all 3 shows had to do a lot with Wall Street. All of them had to do with trading and this and that. And I'm learning a lot, so it's really interesting. But man, that energy, so if you are going to sit there and have some downtime and watch TV, I'm telling you, after watching these kind of shows with these guys making deals that are 10 times bigger than what I'm already doing, and I'm like, that's where I want to be. And that is the important part, is to understand that they always say there's no friends in the game. I disagree. I think that there's probably limited friends in the game, but at the end of the day, you got to be careful who you allow into your circle. But the thing is, they're going, and I've seen so many people comment about they're going to watch, they're going to come, they're going to buy a ticket because they want to be there if you fail.
Exactly.
That's how our event December was so successful. I really think, because I was shocked at some of the people there. I'm like, who invited you? But thanks for coming and watching, but I didn't fail. But anyway, all right, guys, and let's jump into these. So number 1, this is the most unreasonable, to me, number 1, unreasonable relationship expectation is that you think there's such thing as unconditional love. And I know a lot of people, that is agape love. That is the plan. That is the point, is to try to be unconditional. We shouldn't have conditions. But the reality of it is, let's be honest, all adult relationships are conditional. Basically, if a partner doesn't do their part or what you agreed to, they're not going to stick around. And that's one of the things I've even heard a therapist that does premarital counseling. His question he asks people before they get married is, okay, what's going to lead to divorce? Why? Because it is conditional. And at the end of the day, you can love somebody, but if they're toxic and unhealthy from you, you have to let them go and love them from afar, because love is fragile and you should never take anyone for granted. What do you guys say?
I totally concur.
And boom.
I totally concur, okay? Because once again, the unconditional part, for me, I can only speak for myself, I'm more so unconditional with who I made and who made me, all right? And that's more so my parents and my children, all right? But what it comes down to is you always think, once again, as I was saying earlier, that somebody, not always, put it this particular way, a lot of people think when you give somebody something, they're supposed to give you something back. Once again, everybody doesn't think the same way, okay? So if you want to give unconditional love, give it freely, all right, without expecting anything back, because all you're doing is setting yourself up for a downfall. Let somebody think that they got over on you. Cool. Let somebody think that they did you a certain way. Cool. Whatever. All right. But if you did it out of the kindness of your heart and the willingness of your heart, unconditionally, then you did it for your own reasons and not somebody else's.
Amen. You can never regret that. And I've even learned now, thinking about wisdom, living long enough, I'm even more guarded what I wish on people or say about people or think about people. Because one thing I'm realizing is that boomerang is real, and whatever you put out is going to come back on you in some kind of way. So you have to be careful. I'm learning to guard my mouth even more, because y'all know I'm a roast comedian and I will come for you. But it's hard for me to separate those two personalities. But I'm trying to. What do you say, DJ?
You know, I used to be one of the ones that really believed in unconditional love.
Yeah.
Until reality set in. I have never met anybody in this world who has ever loved me unconditionally. It's always been for a purpose.
Yeah.
I think, and I think as I started to get older, I started realizing that every relationship, whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, you're getting married, you're dating, it's always because that other person gives you benefits. There's something there that you benefit from. Whether it be, the fact that they just make your day easier because they help take the stress off, you're benefiting from that. So the second that you stop benefiting is the second that you stop loving.
Right.
And that's when the people start giving up instead of getting the therapy like they need. But that's something that I've just come to learn. People don't love unconditionally. There has to be a condition in there somewhere. Even vows are just like, until sickness and in health and all that stuff, till death do us part. But the second somebody says, boo, you just lost your legs, you can't walk no more, you got a tube, I gotta feed you, I gotta change your diapers, deuce, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I'm saying that's a lot of the cases, there truly isn't any unconditional love. And even the ones that stay, it has to be, it's usually at that point where, they've been together for like 60 years, so they're not gonna leave their side, or there's money involved. Okay, it's okay, you're taking care of me. You made our life, we're rich now, so I don't mind taking care of you because I got the money from it. But again, it's a condition. And that's what I'm saying. There's just, I've never, once I get reality set in, I just never found that anybody loves unconditionally.
I think the only exception to that is parents to children. I think that is truly, because I know I always felt conditional love growing up. So, but my mom was also an orphan, didn't know better. So I think, and that's where we healed from that. But with my children, I saw this meme the other day, and it was like two hearts sitting on the couch with a little heart baby on the floor. And it was like, I'm not going to mess you up the way my parents did. And then it's like, that's a new kind of mess up, So it's like, we're over. That's why this generation of millennials is everybody's a winner. Everybody is successful. Everybody, because we grew up hardcore. It was, you got beat, you didn't talk, you got beat again. If you thought about talking, we grew up in a different generation. We were actually scared of our parents, and still was to the day my daddy died. But it's just now it's like everybody is scared to discipline because we're scared of that. But we're getting off subject. Okay, what's number 2, DJ?
Completeness. You find someone who compliments you, but not completes you. There's no such thing as the right relationship. A relationship alone can't fulfill your entire life, which is why we always say you can't be codependent.
Yes.
You can't have somebody there and expect that their love is going to fill that void you're feeling. That's not what love is supposed to be. It's not supposed to fill that void.
Good D don't feel that void. Okay, it feels something.
I'm like, sometimes it fills that void. It just depends on what void we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just
real nasty. But okay, I'm saying.
yeah, we got to keep her going before she's goes off the deep end. But you got to find somebody who you got to understand that it's about making you feel like you can be yourself. You can hold yourself up even when they're there or when they're not there.
Yeah, it's like a compliment.
Exactly. So it's not about, they're my entire life. Like without them, I don't know who I am. That's codependency. That's not
I'm telling you,
completeness.
And I recognize it because I used to be that person, but it drives me crazy now that I'm healed from it. It's like, dude, you don't have to fart and have him there to smell it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I can't go on this girls trip because what? Like, there's just, at some point, you're still an individual person. So to be that codependent where, we work together, we sleep together, I make all my days around their days, we don't do anything apart. Ooh, girl.
I met this couple
I see why they still
at happy hour the other day,
Anyway.
and they were so codependent that they couldn't be without, like, everywhere they were, whether they were at work, school, whatever, they were always either in their ears, like in their earbuds, or they were on FaceTime. Like, if they weren't at work, they were on FaceTime. No matter what. Business things that he has an earpod in, she has an earpod in. And I'm just like,
what?
How do you not get fired?
Right.
Like, how do you
Right.
like, I just can't.
Ryan,
Ridiculous.
what's wrong with people now? You need to be
again.
on the phone with me when I'm in the bathroom too?
They do. I'm telling you. These
No, right.
these younger generation, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. And then they call that love.
Yeah.
Aw,
Well, yeah.
babies.
Well, I mean, yeah. Everybody's definition of love is different. No doubt. But once again, if you cannot stand on your own 2 feet and make your own decisions without having to always get a thumbs up or a thumb down from somebody else, I mean, you becoming one, all right?
Right.
But you have to be your own individual self in order to make one thing come together. But everybody always has their own mind and their own instincts and their own thoughts. So I can't do that.
You know what? You know what's a real good formula for divorce is pandemic and not having autonomy. We have to have our alone time, and I don't understand why couples can't be creative and create different spaces in their home.
Exactly. You know, I mean, get a 2-bedroom. Have an extra bedroom, you know, where like you have half of it his space, half of it your space, you know, like, and that way, you know, and then have your living room areas where, I'm in our space today. Can you go to, you know, like go watch
Be
your
creative.
TV in the living room or something? Exactly, you know, like
I
you
firmly
have to
believe in a man cave. I really do. Like, I think men need
Me
to
too.
have. No, I'm like so serious. Like, I cannot tell y'all.
Me too.
Because, and I even joke about this on stage, they don't care about all the bitch at work, the dog, the neighbor. They don't care. You got to let your man go into his cave, into his space, let him unwind. He's got the whole world on his shoulders, just like we do. But I can tell you, I was trying to be a man for 25 years, a single parent. Men have it really hard out here. So we got to give them some space to be able to decompress when they get home before you start jumping on them. But I think a she shed is just as important.
Right.
I'm telling you, if I ever get married, he's going to have a man cave and I'm going to have a woman cave.
You know, and the reason I feel like man caves are more important is because I feel like for women, it's easier for y'all to find things to do to relax.
Right.
Like, for example, taking a
Dildos.
bath, dildos, yeah. You're taking a bath with your dildo, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Waterproof.
but, you know, like seeing, you know, just even some like good smelling incense can relax y'all. You know, y'all guys have found it easier to find that relaxation point without having to, you know, most of y'all have.
Isolate.
And I think a lot of it has to do with that mother gene that y'all have,
Oh, yeah.
you know, versus like, guys, we're not meant for that. You know, we were meant for the hunt. Just go there, do this. We know how to do what we're told. And then
Some of y'all.
some of us exactly. So I feel like with that part, it's easier for y'all to just turn it off.
Yeah.
Versus men, we can never really turn it off. We feel like we can, but we can't, because as soon as we get home, now we got to tend to the family and figure out their problems and do all that because we're the head of the household, you know? So I feel like their man cave's the only place where it's supposed to be like
Don't tell the
red
feminists.
tape, you know, you got a sealed door, can't come in, like I'm in here, red lights on, like don't come, you know what I'm saying?
Don't tell the feminists. We got to take a break, guys. But when we come back, we're going to jump back in with Ryan telling us what he thinks is also an unreasonable, realistic expectation. We'll be right back after this. Y'all stay tuned.
Events and Adventures knows how to make the most of being single. Get social, in person, try new things, and just have fun. Join Events and Adventures. We've been doing the single life right for over 30 years. 30 great events every month. Just visit eventsandadventures.com.
AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Ask me how to get 300 megabits per second for only $35 a month, plus taxes and fees, with no annual contract, no bundles required, and unlimited internet data included. Call Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Again, that is Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Limited availability may not be available in your area. Speed claims based on combined upload and download capacity of Internet 300, Internet 500, and Internet 1000 versus Xfinity expecting a cost of 100 meg, 500 meg, 600 meg, 1 gig, and 1.2 gig cable services with uploads of 10, 20, and 35 megabits per second. Download max speed is 920 megabits per second for Internet 1000. Speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Clarence Miller. I am a native of Huntsville, Texas. I relocated to Houston at the age of 18 with $50 in my pocket and a one-way bus ticket to seek a better life. I have enjoyed a successful business and family life in Harris County for over 48 years, serving businesses, faith organizations in Harris County, and assisting those in need. I have a proven track record of helping people in development communities and infrastructure. I was a small business owner for many years, so I understand the challenges of a small business owner. I was one of the first elected directors, general managers of Northwest Harris County Municipal Utility District 24. During my tenure, I eliminated the government waste, held contractors accountable, built a community center, a new road, paid off $10 million in debt, and we're currently building a $3.7 million park. My priorities are flood control, infrastructure, law enforcement, mental health, public services, job opportunities. As commissioner, I promise to bring a fresh new vision of accountability and leadership to all the residencies of Harris County Precinct 4. Please go to www.millerforcommissioner.com and support the Movement for Change. Clarence Miller, November 22. Thank you.
Are you single? Maybe you're divorced or new in town. It's time to meet your match with Events and Adventures. Whether you're low-key or adventurous, come hang out with tons of like-minded people at exciting group activities. The best part? Everyone is single. From happy hours and trivia nights to outdoor adventures and weekend getaways, Events and Adventures has something for everyone. We're all here for the same reason. So come be part of a community made for singles. Your match is waiting for you to make your move. Visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the Amber Neal Show. We are so excited to be back. We got DJ Houston and Ryan Yarbrough, my co-host, joining us today. Before the break, we were talking about some unreasonable relationship expectations. And man, we had some good ones for y'all. Unconditional love. Thinking somebody's going to complete you.
Completeness.
Hello.
Yeah, completeness.
That's just codependent. Hello, code word. What's
the
the
one,
new
yeah,
one?
the one that I'm looking at right now is mind reading.
What? You don't have a crystal ball?
Are you
I
hold
do.
on.
I do, but I don't tune into it on purpose. Okay, but basically, they should just know, right? No, nobody just gonna know what's on your mind. Okay, it's not a test, right? It's not a test. If you want something, say something. All right, don't be sitting back just looking, and then, when you don't get what you want. You should have did this. You should have did that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Looking at all women out there. Right. Playing those mind games. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, everybody has their own needs to deal with. Bottom line, let's put it that particular way. So, regardless, man
Women
or
are guilty
woman.
of that.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say.
More so than we
I'm trying
are.
to be balanced. here. But men and women, if you want something, open your mouth.
I will say with Ryan, it is kind of equal because men, we don't talk about emotions, period. We don't talk about, so if there's something wrong with us, we just don't talk about it. Like that's just us. But women, y'all play the mind games. It's that, again, I'm fine, nothing's wrong, and you sitting there steaming, mad, like you better be figuring, exactly what's wrong right now. He got no idea because he ain't paying attention. No idea.
I don't think I fit into that category. I think the one thing I'm not is passive aggressive. I think if anything, I am guilty of being confrontational.
That's a form of passive aggressive.
Oh, no, it's not.
She's like, no, it's aggressive.
Oh, it's aggressive. There's nothing passive about it. Trust me. The only difference is now learn how to tone it down. Police don't have to come out this time. But I kid y'all. But no, but I can't do passive aggressive. Like that's just no. But I do agree that women are more guilty of expecting you to read our mind. But you know what I think it is because how before I've said women want to be wanted and men need to be needed, right? It goes back to that. It goes back to wanting to be wanted. So it's like we don't want to tell you because we want you to surprise us and figure it out and we feel more wanted if you figured it out on your own versus if I give you a handbook and I'm like, do this, do this, do this, do this. To us, that kind of takes some of the fun and romance out of it.
What if they figure it out and you still say that's not it?
Well, that's just an unhappy bee and miserable.
That happens.
We're not talking about miserable women. We're talking about grateful women.
You don't got to be miserable.
You are miserable if you just, yeah.
Some people don't want you. Some people don't want you to know what's going on with them on purpose.
Right.
So
only Taurus say that. All right. All right. The next unreasonable relationship expectation is we are partners. No, not parents. Your partner cannot be responsible for you. Oof. They are your teammate, not your captain. Support is different from responsibility. And that's one of the things, too, and you go back to head of the household. But you know what comes with that is responsibility.
Right, exactly.
And that's the point when women expect to be covered is because the man is responsible. So be careful if you want to call yourself the head of the household because there's some obligations that come, responsibilities that come with that. But we're here to, we a lot of times when a man is in love, his inner child shows. When a woman is in love, her mother side shows. And that's how you can tell if a man really loves you because he will have more childlike qualities, playful, pulling your hair, teasing. You know, he becomes more like a little boy, and women become more, oh, are you sick? Are you okay? How are you nurturing? And we become like that. I'm just saying. But the outside of just that innate thing we're hardwired to do, we're still not our partner's parents. And I think that if you do find somebody, this is why we got to slow down and build the friendship so you can find out if they need therapy, not a relationship. Because a lot of people say they're looking for a relationship, they're really looking for therapy.
They're looking for a parent.
I can't do it. I ain't the one.
I can't tell you how many relationships I've broken off because it was just that. Instead of being supporting them, you know, like I like to support. Like I don't mind you staying at my place, me cooking for you, doing things like. But then there's a difference between where I'm your maid, you know what I mean? Because you just won't do nothing. You're too late. Like no, because again, I'm not your parent. You're not my responsibility like that. Right. I'm supposed to support you and help you, and don't mind taking care of you a little bit. But you know what I mean? But there's a difference. You know, like there's some people that just expect exactly. They move in and they're like, well, you were already cleaning the place before I moved here, so why do I have to clean? You know, like there's people that are like that. I mean, be grateful you haven't come across a man like that, because.
I mean, and I think I've dated them all. So okay, all right, guys, we are going to take one more quick commercial break with our friends over at Vincent Adventures. When we come back, we're going to jump into this really great topic. I can't wait. 12 Laws of Power. These are the top 12 Laws of Power in the 48 Laws of Power by the book by Robert Greene. Y'all go ahead and check that book out. Google it. Get it up so you can follow along with us. And we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Y'all stay tuned.
Are you single? Maybe you're divorced or new in town. It's time to meet your match with Events and Adventures. Whether you're low-key or adventurous, come hang out with tons of like-minded people at exciting group activities. The best part? Everyone is single. From happy hours and trivia nights to outdoor adventures and weekend getaways, Events and Adventures has something for everyone. We're all here for the same reason. So come be part of a community made for singles. Your match is waiting for you to make your move. Visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Ask me how to get 300 megabits per second for only $35 a month, plus taxes and fees, with no annual contract, no bundles required, and unlimited internet data included. Call Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Again, that is Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Limited availability may not be available in your area. Speed claims based on combined upload and download capacity of internet 300, internet 500, and internet 1000 versus Xfinity, Spectrum, and Cox 100 meg, 500 meg, 600 meg, 1 gig, and 1.2 gig cable services with uploads of 10, 20, and 35 megabits per second. Download max speed is 920 megabits per second for internet 1000. Speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Maridate is for committed couples that are either engaged or married and would like to keep the dating in their marriage, fight for the family, and lower the divorce rate one couple at a time. We plan 30 to 50 events a month that include workshops, seminars, webinars, experts, and events all around town. This is for couples that want to develop friendships with other like-minded couples that take their marriage and vows seriously. We will also be offering premarital help so that you will not be a statistic. Would you and your partner like to take international vacations together with other couples and at group rates? When you are home, you will learn your city as you go to each new event. Your membership includes all of our locations. We take the guesswork out of creating, having, and keeping a strong marriage. Contact us today.
Hey singles, do you feel it? The feeling like it's time to start having fun again? If you do, then you're ready to celebrate with Events and Adventures. There's never been a better time to join than right now. Meet new people with a packed calendar of fun events, exciting adventures, and future memories. It's time to live life to the fullest, to high five, skydive, and feel alive again. That feeling is here at Events and Adventures. If you're single and ready to celebrate, visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Hey guys, it's your girl matchmaker, comedian, publicist Amber Neal, and I'm back with my co-host Ryan Yarbrough and DJ Houston.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene? Man, shout out to comedian Derek Keener. He told me about this book a long time ago, and he said he had just turned on to it. And, because I look at the different ways that people handle business, and it is so different. I mean, even just being a relationship expert, we've identified there's over 100 different personality types that you could deal with at any given day. So you deal with personality type, with business regimen, acumen, whatever I'm trying to say. It just, when you combine those things, and plus the city that you grew up in and how you live and what's popular in the culture, it's amazing to see how many different people do business so differently. But Robert Greene has put together a book, 48 Laws of Power, and he's basically saying these are the ruthless rules that you have to live by in business in order to get ahead. So I'm going to jump these out and see what you guys think. All right. So these are the top 12 laws of power. All right. Number 1, plan all the way to the end. I think that's great advice. I think it's good to start with the end goal. It's just like if you're writing a movie or you're doing a project or anything, you got to know what the end result is before you even start working, because otherwise you're wasting a lot of time aimlessly working. So I'll give you an example. When I became a TV producer, I started taking classes to learn how to produce, become a technical director, and edit. When I signed up for my classes, they asked me, what is your goal with doing this? I said, one day I'm going to run a TV network. Boom, president, boss up now. And so it's very intentional with those decisions. It wasn't just, I'm going to, now deep down I was like, well, I'm going to try to meet, what I'm really trying to do is I'm going to try to meet people. I'm going to try to get sponsors. I'm going to try to, get on location events. I'm going to try to blow up my brand because no one knew I existed. So it was like, how do I start it out there? But the big picture was one day I'm going to run a network. So what about you? What do you think about that, DJ? Start with plan all the way to the end.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with it. I mean, one of the biggest things that banks do when you go in to get a business loan is they want to know your business plan from beginning to end.
Amen.
They want to know what you expect to make at the end.
Right.
How you expect to get to the end.
Yeah.
So it's a very good idea. I mean, anything, just like with your goals, they say in order to really get your goals, write your goals down, but write down what your end goal is. Your day-to-day goal and then your end goal. You always got to write your end goal on there so that way you know which direction you're going.
What you say, Ryan?
Absolutely. That's just like anything in life. You have to see what you want in order to get there, because especially in business, when you're talking about numbers, whatever you're talking about with business, you always have to know where you want to be, because business is all about negotiating. All right, before you know it, if you don't know where you want to be or where you're trying to go, you can be on somebody else's path, a whole nother direction.
Ooh, amen. I know we both experienced that before, where it's very easy. And even my best friend, she would tell me years ago, she was like, Amber, you are your own product. You don't quit thinking you've got to align with people to get there. And I'm like, Yeah, but okay, I see what you're saying, and thanks for the compliment. But at the same time, no one person ever made it to the top alone. Even the freaking president of the United States has advisors.
Right.
I mean, seriously, what's number 2, DJ?
Always say less than necessary.
Ooh, I've learned that the hard way.
And that's something that I'm still really learning how to key in on.
They'll argue with you that I've never learned it at all. But I'm trying because I understand that they can only attack if they know.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, you know. One of the biggest things that I've been learning since I became a business owner is always move in silence. You know, don't tell people what your next move is, because a lot of times they're going to take it from you. I have every time I told somebody my next business move or what new club I was going to, guess what would happen? They would go there and undercut me.
It's that every time.
Exactly, because they're like, you know what? All I got to do is undercut them by $50, and I'm still making a good profit. I mean, it's true though. That's how these people do. Like, so you know, but once I started moving in silence, my goals started becoming more. You know, because I also noticed like every time I would like get excited, like, oh, there could be this possible thing that's happening, and I start telling everybody about it, and it falls through because you're telling everybody what you're doing. You're putting it out there so people can mess up your energy. You know, people can come in and put bad juju on that.
It's so true though. But I was guilty of that when I first started. Anything. I mean, because I had no brand at the time. So like anything. Oh, I'm going to be over here at this. I'm going to be at this show. Literally every single move was broadcast in advance.
Exactly.
And it took me getting betrayed to go, say less than necessary.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Ryan?
No, I always say that loose lips sink ships.
Oh,
that right there.
So you can tell all your business all you want to, all right? But unless you want somebody else, as both DJ and Amber are saying, when you let people know your business, it becomes their business, all right? So then they're gonna twist it a little bit one way or the other. But we're looking on the other side. You know, there are times also where people can help you. You know, as Amber is saying, no one person can do any and everything by themselves. But it's all about when and who you tell your business to.
And that's why I like how it's worded, you know, say less than necessary. You can tell them, but you ain't got to give them the full 100%. Give them 60%, you know, until you see what the intentions are. You see where you're going with it, you know. It's just don't say more than you need to say.
Right, and that's part of working on the hearts and minds of others as well. It's not all about talking. That's why I tell people we have 2 ears and we have 1 mouth. All right, so we need to be listening twice as much as we're talking, okay? Because you can talk yourself in a deal, you can talk yourself out of a deal. But the majority of times you can talk yourself out of a deal by talking too much versus sitting back and listening, okay? Now, when you listening to the heart and the mind of others, doesn't necessarily mean that you're playing with it, all right? But you have to know who you're talking to. Are you talking to a bottom line person, all right? Or you're talking to somebody that needs a story, okay? Because they're all different types of people. But when it's all said and done, you have to know in business who you're talking to and what type of person you're talking to in order to get something done.
Amen. All right, guys, and here's this is a very interesting one. This is where the laws of power become very interesting for me. But I guess it's real, you know, it just, I got to quit being so nice. Learn to keep people dependent on you. You know, because when you hear that, you think, "God, you're master manipulator? Like, what does that mean?" But I understand that, like, that's really what marketing, consulting, and PR really is. When you really break it down, it's you're offering a service that they depend on because they either don't have the connections, don't have the time, they have the money but not the time, or they have the connections but not the time. So it's really, you become indispensable to somebody who need you, and I think it's okay to get people dependent on you in business.
Absolutely. I have to give a huge shout out to my mentor, DJ Athens, for teaching me this early in the game, because something that, you know, she used to do as my mentor is I would learn by studying her, but she would never just outright say, "This is how I do this. This is my secrets," because if I know exactly what she does and exactly how she does it, what makes her different than any other DJ, or why would they hire her versus me?
Right.
You know, and so I thank goodness I learned that as a DJ, like going in, because Man, as a bartender, I used to give my secrets away all the time, and people stopped coming to me because I wasn't the cute one, but I made the best drinks.
You
so,
are cute.
you know what I mean? So when I stopped letting everybody else make the same drinks as me and kept my recipes to myself, I started getting a bigger clientele because people were dependent on me to be able to do that. And it's the same way with my music as a DJ. I'm the only DJ that can do what I do.
Yeah.
And because I don't teach another DJ how to do what I do.
Right.
I can teach you the basics, but I'm not going to teach you how to do what I do. Because then, I'd be obsolete.
Anyway. Yeah.
So, and so, you know, Ryan, so how do you feel like, Ryan, like, as somebody who made it to the 1%, you know, you went pro, all of that. How do you feel like that something like that keeps you, you know, how would you interpret that into what you did through football? Because, you know, I mean, that, or your career, basically, you know?
Yeah, no, what that comes down to, I'm going to touch on two things right quick. You can tell somebody any and everything, all right? You can give them the whole blueprint, but that doesn't mean that they're going to do it just like you do it, okay? That's what distinguishes me from DJ, me from Amber, okay, besides a few other things. right. But, but what it comes down to is, and the question that DJ asked me is, we were all put here to do certain things, okay? Did I do anything more secretive or non-exclusive than anybody else to get to the 1% of the NFL, of the population? No, I mean, it was more discipline than anything, all right? But once again, as I tell people all the time, hey, I'm doing this so I can jump 40 inches, or I'm doing this so I can run a real fast 40-yard dash. No, it was none of that. It was work and mentality more so, because I'm not always the person that's the more you work or the harder you work, the better you'll be off. No, the smarter you work, the better you'll be off. Right. Okay.
Learn how to
so
manifest.
I'm not going to, like, you don't do a certain regiment. No, I don't run 1,000 miles a day. Yeah. No, I'm going to be wore out. You know, it doesn't work like that. I need to be fresh. You know, so I do certain things at a high capacity, then I'm shutting it down. But to answer your question, DJ, I've never, I'm not going to say never, but I don't do things and tell everybody 100% because for the two reasons I just told you. They're not going to do everything that I tell them, one, and then two, they're not going to do it like I do it. So
that can't be you.
Right.
You are the product.
Yeah.
That's what I told this hater who had my same name. You know who you are. I told her, I called her single white female because this chick wanted to wear my skin. And I was like, at the end of the day, and unless you just keep copying me, that's really the only way you're going to really try to rise to any success. But the truth is, she couldn't copy me because I am the product, just like you and just like you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why we have to be confident. I admire people. One of the most craziest things I saw was Lady Gaga when she showed up to that event wrapped in meat. I will never forget that. That was out there. Okay. But my point is, I admire her, Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna. I still admire people who were not like the norm or what they had seen. I mean, even Elvis. When you think about Elvis was way ahead of his time. They wouldn't even show his body from the waist down, the way he was gyrating and moving. It's just, all I'm saying is be a leader and a pioneer in your arena. And God, how boring would it be if we all had the same gifts, right? Mm-hmm. So celebrate your uniqueness. Celebrate that you might be that next creator, innovator. You might be that next, you could be the next Ryan, the next DJ. You could be that next person and take it to that next level.
Yeah, be the next you.
So
the next you. Yeah, so what was the next one? Infection.
Yeah.
Infection. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. All right? The unlucky, I really don't deal with luck.
I don't either.
All right? So that's more so a mindset. But just like the unhappy, all right? It's a mentality. All right? Somebody always upset you. Already know every time. Well, after 1 or 2 times with me, I'm not even going to speak to that person. Or I'm about to go this way to avoid that person because I naturally, if you know me personally, you know I'm going to see how you doing. I'm going to ask how you doing. How are things going? How's your family? Blah, 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 blah. But every time, if I hear, I'm not gonna ask you no more. You know what I'm saying? That's not on you. That's on me. Once again, so I'm avoid unhappy and people that can't even act like they're doing okay. All right, so avoid it.
And I want to add to that too. It's called emotional dumping. When you just walk up to somebody and you just blah, and you just start spilling out all your trash, but they might not even be in the mindset to hear that. So just be cognizant. Sometimes you think you're venting, but have respect enough for the other person to go, are you ready to hear this? Are you ready to talk about it? What's the next one, DJ?
So the next one is you want to use absence to increase respect and honor.
We're both kind of like that. If I get quiet, you need to be. I told somebody the other day. I said, as long as I'm talking, we're good. But the moment you get quiet, that silence is going to be deafening.
Absolutely.
You're the same way though.
I know I am.
You're like da 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 da, but then when you're done, you're like.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be quiet to go within. You know, it's not like I'm mad or
Right.
the other person mad. I got stuff on my mind,
Right.
and I'm thinking about if you want me to talk about it, you might not be ready for what I have to say out loud. So
Let me
therefore,
process it.
yeah, I have to digest it in my mind. So that's why I'm quiet. I'm not mad or anything like that. I'm just minding my business.
Right.
Shit, I'm just minding my business.
See, and I feel like, it's that old psychology thing behind it, You got to make people realize what they have, they don't remember what they have until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it until they can't have it anymore. So your absence kind of like, once you start getting around and everything, everybody's like, oh, okay, old news, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta refresh yourself by stepping out of the scene, disappearing for a little bit, getting your stuff back together, figuring stuff out, and then come back, and everybody wants you that much more.
Exactly.
They were like, oh, wait, DJ Houston's been gone. Man, I forgot. And then man, I can't live without this guy. Like, he is so good, And I'm like, exactly, I just had to take a break real quick to remind you what you had, what you were missing, like...
Unfortunately, that's the truth, though. Sometimes people really don't know what they had, and that goes back to that argument of, well, if they leave, if somebody leaves you and they come back, then it's yours. But then you got the other argument, well, if they really love you, they'll never leave. I disagree with the second one. If they love you and they leave, it can be better sometimes around, second times around. Sometimes you do have to miss them enough to be willing to make a change in you. That maybe you weren't willing to make that change or that compromise before, but you realize the value they add to your life is worth you being humble enough to go inside sometimes. All right, the next one is very interesting. Win through your actions and not your arguments. Yeah, I think I'm getting to that place. I'm realizing how a lot of people are just delusional and crazy. But we have a strong focus on mental health, so we kid around about that. But seriously, some people are just delusional as hell. And I think you finally have to get to that place, because this is what I'm realizing watching some of these shows I'm watching. The people that are in the 1%, they don't waste their time arguing with people that don't argue. You barely even get to talk to them. And I'm starting to see how little you get. You get like that. What do you got to say? Nope. Goodbye. So when you're sitting here wasting your time arguing with anybody that's not going to get money or add something to what you're trying to do, you are literally wasting your time. And that's why I have started a new policy for 2022. If you waste my time, I'm going to invoice you. Okay? All right then. What you guys say?
I totally agree.
Actions, not arguments.
Yeah. One thing I like to say is you can show them better than you can tell them.
Oh, wait, that part.
Period.
Right, what's the next one?
So much depend on reputation. Guard it with your life.
I struggle with that, though, Ryan, because I've been told even recently some of the slander that people say about me, and it's just like, and then I think about, like, okay, so let's go from this level to Diddy, Kim Kardashian, anybody that's real scandalous, Kanye West, anybody that's always in the media for some kind of scandal, do you really think they have time? There's even one dumbass video on YouTube talking about Kevin Gates is Beyonce's baby daddy. I mean, just the slander, the lies, the stuff that's out there. As someone who's been through that, it can be, honestly, you hear a lot of celebrities say they turn off the comments because it's so much there. But what do you guys think as far as guard your reputation? Because I know I could, honest to God, sit down right now and write a book of all the things I've had to overcome to get to this point, from betrayal and games that people play. What do you guys say?
Well, once again, yeah, if you focusing on what other people are saying, you're going to be doing what other people want you to do. All right? So when it comes to taking people's kindness for their weakness, that's on the other individual. Once you get so wrapped up into what people think or what people are saying about you, then once again, they won. I mean, that's bottom line. Yeah, you don't, successful people, I'm not going to say all successful people, but majority of successful people I know don't have time for the BS. All right, excuse my about to be French. But they don't have time for it. All right, but that does not mean that they have to be standoffish either. They attract, or they know who they're looking for. You know, there's always somebody out of the crowd they go to. Why? Because that person is smiling. Why? Because they can understand where they're coming from. Why? Because they feel that person's great energy. All right? They don't got time for blah, 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 blah.
And let me tell y'all from just a spiritual piece of advice, we're going to move on to the next one. We're running out of time. Is at the end of the day, you don't get your blessings from people. Period, point blank. As long as you and God are good, you and God are a whole team, you don't need anyone else. And stop caring what people think, because at the end of the day, they put pants on just like you did. They answer to God just like you did. And they have way more insecurities. A lot of times you're going to understand is, once you understand that people's projection of how they see you has so much more to do with them than you'll stop taking it personal. What's the next one?
Absolutely. So on the next one, on the top 12 laws of power.
Ooh, power.
Exactly. We are telling you to keep, to never put too much trust in your friends. Mm-hmm. You got to learn to use your enemies.
Ooh.
Right. You know, so instead, and it's always how they say, keep your friends close, your enemies close.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to use that hate that they have towards you to fuel your business, your growth, your,
Trust
your
me,
success.
as a publicist, I have mastered the art of that. But that's the thing, you got to be in sync, and God gives you an intuition to know. God will show you if somebody is good spirit, bad spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's the next one?
The gut feeling. All right, the next and last, oh no, it's not the last, next to last. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. That's kind of what I was touching on earlier. You have to know your personalities. You have to know who you're dealing with. Because the president or the CEO might be on the floor during an event. They might not be the one that's always had to be on the pedestal or be somewhere off in the way looking down on people. Okay? The old antiquated power. All right? So, once again, you never know who you're talking to. So, you treat everybody, once again, this sounds cliche-ish, but it's true. Treat people how you want to be treated. So, therefore, you see anybody at a, not just necessarily at a party, but at a business function or anything like that, you speak to them just like you would speak to the next person who you think is the boss.
Telling y'all guys, you never know who's going to give you that next opportunity. As my dad always taught me, treat the janitor like you treat the CEO.
That's right.
You never know. And I'm telling you, especially being a comedian, a lot of the times relationships have been coming with alliances with the bartenders, the wait staff, the door people, the bouncers. That's who you want to get in with. It's not necessarily the manager.
Absolutely. Managers come and go all the time. A lot of times, staff stays around, especially in this kind of industry. And my little version of it is like how when I DJ, I always play my best, whether there's 0 people or there's 100,000 people.
Amen.
Because you never know. Just the other day I was working a happy hour that happened to be just 3 people there. Just 3 people. And, it was a slow day, whatever, but I was still playing my best. Like, there was 100,000 people there having fun. And guess what? Some guy heard me off the street, comes up, and he owns this huge sushi restaurant in Vegas and invited me out to go to Vegas.
What?
Let me know.
Where are we going?
And so I'm over here like,
we're broadcasting.
see what happens. And if I would have been doing my horrible, like all these other DJs were, where I just, okay, I'm just gonna push play, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not even no, he wouldn't have heard that, or he would have heard that and would have been like, this DJ sucks, So it's always do your best, be your best, treat people the best.
Amen,
Because you never know
guys.
who you're going to deal with.
And last but not least, be your own royal self, okay? If you are a king, walk as a king. If you're a queen, walk as a queen. At the end of the day, you have to understand that people are looking to you to know how to treat you. If you don't treat yourself like a king or a queen, why in the world do you expect anybody else to, guys? All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got our afterthoughts right after this. Stay tuned.
Hey singles, do you feel it? The feeling like it's time to start having fun again? If you do, then you're ready to celebrate with Events and Adventures. There's never been a better time to join than right now. Meet new people with a packed calendar of fun events, exciting adventures, and future memories. It's time to live life to the fullest, to high five, skydive, and feel alive again. That feeling is here at Events and Adventures. If you're single and ready to celebrate, visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Married is for committed couples that are either engaged or married and would like to keep the dating in their marriage, fight for the family, and lower the divorce rate one couple at a time. We plan 30 to 50 events a month that include workshops, seminars, webinars, experts, and events all around town. This is for couples that want to develop friendships with other like-minded couples that take their marriage and vows seriously. We will also be offering premarital help so that you will not be a statistic. Would you and your partner like to take international vacations together with other couples and at group rates? When you are home, you will learn your city as you go to each new event. Your membership includes all of our locations. We take the guesswork out of creating, having, and keeping a strong marriage. Contact us today.
Are you single? Maybe you're divorced or new in town. It's time to meet your match with Events and Adventures. Whether you're low-key or adventurous, come hang out with tons of like-minded people at exciting group activities. The best part? Everyone is single. From happy hours and trivia nights to outdoor adventures and weekend getaways, Events and Adventures has something for everyone. We're all here for the same reason. So come be part of a community made for singles. Your match is waiting for you to make your move. Visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.
Peace and blessings, everyone. This is Mr. Believe So You Can Achieve, Ryan Yarborough. Today we had a wonderful show, and two of the topics that we went over were not unconditional, but unreasonable relationship expectations. Okay, that's one topic. The other one was 12 laws of power in business or just life, period. All right, but one of the main things that I took from the unreasonable relationship expectation was that you have to say something, all right, if you want something. Nobody is a mind reader, all right? Where I come from, they always tell you, closed mouths don't get fed, all right? And it ain't necessarily food, all right? Whatever the case may be, you have to open your mouth and you have to let people know what it is that you want and how you want it. Okay, now jumping over to the 12 laws of power. One of the main things that I took from that is you always have to know who you're dealing with. Okay, they have different characteristic types. They have bottom line people. They have people that you have to talk to and give them a story. Red, blue, green, different color characteristics, all that. You have to know who you're talking to and how to talk to them so you can hit certain buttons. You never know which button will make them go up or down. But nevertheless, always believe so you can achieve, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Peace.
What's up, guys? It's your boy DJ Houston, and we are back for Afterthoughts. What? Anyway, so today I want to just give y'all a little touch up on, some of those unreasonable expectations we have for relationships. As we touched on earlier, they are your partners, not your parents. Guys, don't find a spouse that you think is going to carry you everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong. It's okay to find somebody who, is wealthy, that can financially support you and has no problem taking care of you. But when it comes to being lazy and not wanting to clean and cook, do certain things to help out, or just, neglecting everyday responsibilities. Like, getting out of bed, they're not there to parent you. They're there to help support you and help you move on and be a better person, but not be your maid. So when you're looking for these relationships, don't look for somebody like that, really, truly. And they're not there to complete you, okay? You're supposed to complete yourself. They're supposed to sit there and help you stay complete. That's the way you should think about it, okay? They're not there to help take away chunks away from your pie. They're there to help keep that pie nice and intact. Obviously, I got pie on the mind. So, y'all guys, check back in with us. Make sure y'all check in our episodes every Friday and Saturday here on Boss Up Houston Network at 9 p.m. We'll see y'all for the next one.
Hey guys, we had a really good show today, and I really have been wanting to check out the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I definitely recommend you getting it and checking it out, because even if you don't agree with everything in it, it is definitely some thought-provoking topics that we talked about today. One of the things that I've kind of had to learn the hard way is, being an empath, being a matchmaker, being a love coach. I operate from my heart space. I operate from love. I operate from trying to understand people and what they need. But one of the toughest lessons that I ever learned was that you can't judge others how you judge yourself. That is how we get hurt. That's how we get set up for betrayal and expectation, is when you think that people have the same heart you do. You can spend your whole life trying to pour into people, love on people, help people grow and heal. But at the end of the day, the self-love journey is a very solo project. It's not something meant to be a team effort or a group effort. So I challenge you today, once you've gone through the healing, once you understand who you are, you can't let anyone shake that truth. You have to be so confident in who you are and whose you are, that sometimes it'll come off as egotistical. It'll come off as conceited. But there's a big difference. It's confidence. Once you know that you don't get your blessings from human, you only get your blessings from God. And once you learn to trust that, you won't need anything else. You will no longer pour energy and time into what people think of you, what people say of you, because at the end of the day, nobody really knows, and they're speculating. And I'll give you one last piece of advice for haters, liars, slanderers, all the people I've dealt with coming up. And it's a very shark infested world, especially entertainment. But I had a good piece of advice someone said to me once, and I'll leave it with you. People beneath you will not talk about you because they can't. And people above you will not talk about you because they won't. Why? Because visionaries talk about ideas, innovators talk about creation, leaders talk about community. Be a servant leader in your community. Be the example you want to see. And don't let the naysayers and the people that have nothing positive to say bring you down. Because remember, you've got to actually give credence to what someone says before you can let it affect you. Learn how to observe people's reactions and not absorb them. Don't take it as your truth. Don't take it personal. People judge others how they see themselves. And that's why you get hurt a lot, because you wouldn't do it. The one law of power that I learned today that I love, I'm going to focus on, and it's out of my nature because I'm so giving, but you have to put yourself first sometimes. And once you realize this whole world is about putting themselves first, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, it's okay. But for me, out of the 12 laws of power, the one I'm going to focus on is to learn how to keep people dependent on me, because I have a great gift to give to the world. All right, guys, we'll see you next time on the Amber Neal Show. Coming up, we got Dr. Canada coming on. We're going to be talking about people you shouldn't date and what self-awareness looks like. We'll see you next time on the Amber Neal Show. Stay tuned.
Married is for committed couples that are either engaged or married and would like to keep the dating in their marriage, fight for the family, and lower the divorce rate one couple at a time. We plan 30 to 50 events a month that include workshops, seminars, webinars, experts, and events all around town. This is for couples that want to develop friendships with other like-minded couples that take their marriage and vows seriously. We will also be offering premarital help so that you will not be a statistic. Would you and your partner like to take international vacations together with other couples and at group rates? When you are home, you will learn your city as you go to each new event. Your membership includes all of our locations. We take the guesswork out of creating, having, and keeping a strong marriage. Contact us today.
AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Ask me how to get 300 megabits per second for only $35 a month, plus taxes and fees, with no annual contract, no bundles required, and unlimited internet data included. Call Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Again, that is Boss Up Houston Network at 832-895-5095. Limited availability may not be available in your area. Speed claims based on combined upload and download capacity of internet 300, internet 500, and internet 1000 versus Xfinity, Spectrum, and Cox 100 meg, 500 meg, 600 meg, 1 gig, and 1.2 gig cable services with uploads of 10, 20, and 35 megabits per second. Download max speed is 920 megabits per second for internet 1000. Speed vary, not guaranteed.
Hey singles, do you feel it? The feeling like it's time to start having fun again? If you do, then you're ready to celebrate with Events and Adventures. There's never been a better time to join than right now. Meet new people with a packed calendar of fun events, exciting adventures, and future memories. It's time to live life to the fullest, to high five, skydive, and feel alive again. That feeling is here at Events and Adventures. If you're single and ready to celebrate, visit eventsandadventures.com to get started. That's eventsandadventures.com.